And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, live on the Philippe Matthews Show. Thank you for tuning in wherever you are around the world. This is a huge, momentous, monumental show. I am so excited to have Dr. Jacqueline Badalora with me. She is an author. She is the author of Birth of a White Nation, The Invention of White People and Its Relevance Today. There's her book right there. It's a fascinating book on race in America that begins with an exploration of the moment in time when white people as a separate and distinct group of humanity were invented through legislation and enactment of laws. Now, Dr. Badalora is an anti-racist writer, attorney, and professor of sociology, anthropology, and criminal justice at St. Xavier University in Chicago. How are you, my dear? Thank you so much for being with me.
I'm great, and I'm really pleased to be with you, Philippe.
Wow. Well, I read your book. I could not put the book down. As I told you in the green room, I ended up buying the Kindle because I had so many highlights. I said, there's no way I'm going to transcribe all these highlights to paper. I just do it on the Kindle. And it is absolutely amazing. Let's start with this. What made you decide to write a book on this topic and this subject, before we get into your background and all of that kind of stuff?
Sure. Well, look, when I was in graduate school at Northwestern, I was researching legal prohibitions on marriage, and I was in the law library going back historically to prohibition after prohibition, and then I found myself looking at laws in the 1600s, and something wasn't right. I wasn't conscious about exactly what that was. But that night after I went home and I went to bed and something was bothering me about the what I had read in my research, but I couldn't put my finger on it. And then at some crazy hour in the morning, as such things tend to go, I woke up and I realized, wait a minute, white people weren't there. Like that label that I have grown up with that was attached to my birth certificate, so certainly for my entire lifetime, was a category I just took for granted. And it did not exist in these early laws of the 1600s. So I was surprised to have discovered myself that white people were probably an invention for a particular political purpose. And so because I found it so fascinating and so important for my own personal understanding of this construct we call race, I really knew that it was important to share, and I thought other people would also find it really important and valuable.
How long did it take you to research and write the book?
Well, I had a 1-year sabbatical, and probably 3 years, but that 1-year sabbatical was really, I really got to concentrate and work, and it was the bulk of the book was written in that year.
Nice. Well, we're going to get into the content, but I know some people have asked us that you have an eclectic career, and that is they want to know, how did you become a professor, or not necessarily how did you become a professor, but you were a Chicago police officer. We got to go and have a little journey back in time, ladies and gentlemen, to talk about this, of how you came to be, because I think nobody could have had a more perfect background career-wise to come out and do the book and write the book that you're writing. But you are, what is your nationality or country you were originally born in?
I was born in Edinburgh, Scotland.
In Scotland, and then you came to America, your family, of course, came to America, and you ended up in Texas, I believe?
Yes, Victoria, Texas.
Victoria, Texas. And then how did you get to Chicago?
Well, you know what? I went to undergrad in Adrian, Michigan, and law school, Toledo, Ohio. And then I came to work at a big law firm downtown Chicago, and I began graduate work at Northwestern.
Awesome. So what made you decide to say, within you're in law and in a academic degree profession, hey, I want to be a cop?
Well, it didn't really, that wasn't the trajectory. So here I was, I already had a law degree, and I realized when I began the work of being a lawyer that I was more interested in ideas about law than the practice of law.
Interesting. Okay.
So that's why I went back to graduate school at Northwestern. And while I was in graduate school, an undergraduate student at Northwestern, Mark Russ, was shot and killed by Chicago police. He was unarmed. The next day, an African-American woman, and Mark's African-American. The next day, an African-American woman, unarmed, shot and killed by Chicago police.
Shalom. Call halal Yahweh by Shalom Shai by Hashem Rakak Dash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders. Salutations to all my fellow laborers. To the confusion of faith brothers joined unto our ranks. To the Akwaf, the hopefully elect that are listening and learning. This is your brother Malcolm coming at you with yet another lesson. Short lesson, straight to the point. Once again, this is Dr. Jacqueline Badalora on the subject of the invention of white people. And as she said when she did her thorough research, it was created for political purposes, and then the concept of race by color was invented right behind it to go with it, to substantiate and support it. So you get guys like Johann Blumenbach, that whole sort of thing. They created the I believe it was the 5 classes of people, and then the whole Negroid, Mongoloid, Caucasoid, all that nonsense that was created to determine people by color, when everyone in the ancient world was brown skinned. The only people that came out, the only people who had no color was the nation of Edom. All right, who today refers to themselves as white, because even so-called Asians and Arabs were just as dark as Africans, or anyone else who was brown. And the proof of that is if you go over to those parts of the world, which I have been, you will see those people. All right, you will see Arabs darker than Negroes, as dark as Africans, and Asians as well. All right, you have to understand, a lot of people have been lightened up over the centuries through the dominance of the rule of the people referred to as Esau Edom, who are totally exposed now. So the harder that they try, it's like the more that they say black Hebrew Israelites, the more that they're being made to be liars. Especially when you look at the amount of Spanish-speaking Northern Kingdom Israelite camps that are in and around the world. All right, you have the brother down in Mexico, you have the brother out in Puerto Rico, you have the brother down in Costa Rica, that camp, and there's a brother in Brazil. And then you have a few Confusion of Faith brothers in different parts of the world too. You got a brother over in Germany, and you got brothers in Holland. It just goes on and on and on. And you have a couple different Gadite camps that are not necessarily GMS, but nevertheless they are Israelites, and they are pushing the truth. And the problem with this, with people like Alex Jones, and whose real name is Bill Hicks, that extremely unattractive red bastard of a woman, hateful woman, Caitlin Bennett, people like them, even Glenn Beck, who knew that the natives and Hispanics are Israelites, but yet he wants to say black Israelites. That just goes to show you how much of a blatant, outright liar that Esau Edom is. And the problem is that they do not like the message that is in the Bible now that they know that they are the nation of Edom, and pushing the lie that the Israelites are twisting the words of the Bible. They're reading straight from the Bible. And it is clear that the Most High God, who you ignorantly call Jehovah, Yahweh, all these other names, that Yahweh and Yahweh Shai is against the nation of Edom. And the nation of Edom, their time is up. This is the end. Their time is up and they are exposed. The son of perdition has been exposed. This is Psalms 137 and verse 7. Remember, O Yahweh, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundations thereof. O daughter of Babylon, and all Christians, including Edomite Christians, so-called white people, many of them agree that America is Babylon. O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. So we all know what was done to Latinos, natives, and Negroes in Americas and during the time of the transatlantic slave trade in America and in Europe, in every place, in the islands in every place where they were taken to. O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. That vicious cup of chattel slavery, Jim Crow laws. The first fired, the last hired, shot down and hunted in the streets by Klansmen and policemen, hung by the hundreds of thousands after slavery. Verse 9, happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones. See, the Most High, who you ignorantly call God and Jesus, is calling for the destruction of the nation of Edom at the hand of his people Israel. Ezekiel 25 and 14. And since it's been proven beyond a shadow of a doubt, often by so-called white people, that the people in the land of Israel are not the people of the Lord, that they are convert imposters. Well, when it says by the hand of his people, eventually the Lord is going to allow the actual Israelites, he's going to empower them and put them in a position to subdue and destroy and render unto the nation of Edom what was done to them. Nahum 3 and 10. Yet she was carried away, she went into captivity. Her young children were also dashed in pieces at the top of the streets, and they cast lots for her honorable men, and all her great men were bound in chains. That was what was done to the nation of Israel. Latinos, Native Americans, and Negroes. Because yes, the Latinos and Native Americans were part of the transatlantic slave trade, and you tried to hide that from history. In often cases, the Negroes and the Latinos and the natives, so-called, were on the same ships together, shipped back and forth, and sometimes they were even when the lots were being cast for them, as they were being sold together. Revelation 18 and 6. Reward her even as she has rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works. And the cup which she hath filled, fill unto her double. So when you get on your little news broadcast and you try to say that they're calling for the destruction of these people as if they're going to do it themselves. No, who you ignorantly call God and Jesus is going to destroy the Edomites. He is going to bring them down. And then he's going to allow his chosen people, his children, to lay hands on them, subdue them, and put them into chains. Because the word of the Lord says that what was done unto the Israelites must be done unto the heathen that did it to them. So it's not just Edom that's going down. All the nations that participated and helped and benefited from it, they're all going under subjection when the Lord comes back. Everyone is going under subjection of the Israelites. But the nation of Edom are the only ones who are going to receive no mercy. Their captivity is going to be the worst captivity since mankind. Call halal Yahweh Bashem Awashai Bashem Rakakwadash Wa Abba Babal.